Hello, the internet. It is Thursday, the 28th of November, 2024, and welcome back to the channel. Now, this video is an update to my DJI acting illegal video. First of all, I want to say immediately to clarify anything, yes, I did receive the full refund from DJI. And I know what you're going to say. Well, then why did you release the video? You say in the video that if DJI act in compliance with the law, you would not release that video. Well, there's a reason I've released the video, and that'll be clear to you once we get into this email correspondence. It's a little interesting, and once we've gone through all that, I'll then explain why the video has been released. But let's move on to where we left off. So this email was my email to DJI. Oh, now I've jumped too far. On the 14th of November, you can see, can you see the dates there? If I zoom right in, the 14th of November at 11:33 a.m. So I had said, this is just to remind you of literally the end of the chain from last video. Hey there, Geordie. It looks like DJI support somehow was removed from the chain of emails. Nonetheless, I've re-added them here for transparency. You are aware that prior to me sending the device back to D1, Anne Maglagit in customer support had already consented to the refund. She'd mentioned a minus 20% restocking fee that we're in the process of negating. Again, charging a restocking fee is against the ACCC. You say the device had a minor fault. Did you even watch the links I included? It appears not. Of the 43 days I was live streaming in the outback of Australia with the transmission being key to my workflow, it simply did not work. 6-kilometer range, question mark. It would bug out even 10 feet from the receiver. This is not minor, it's major. Again, if D1 will not issue the full refund, and this is the stance of DJI as the manufacturer, I will go ahead with publishing my video and seek the full refund amount via the ACCC. They've since indicated that I should also take this up with New South Wales Fair Trading and lodge a complaint with the Small Claims Tribunal, both actions I'm currently undertaking. So after I'd sent that email, I went ahead and made my video. And in the time that I was shooting the video, this email came in from D1, from Geordie. Now you can see that the date here, 14th of November at 2:37 p.m. So my email went out at 11:33, and then I went ahead and started creating my video. So this came in as my video was being created. It says, hey there, Benon. Thank you for your email. My apologies. I just replied to all, so not sure why the DJI support was removed. If you remember correctly from our first video, someone took the DJI email out of the chain. So it was a bit weird, I thought. I thought they were like, are you intent? It wasn't me. It was somebody else that removed DJI. So I put it back in. But yeah, D1 is claiming it wasn't them. He says, I've checked with your previous correspondence with Anne and our support team, and they were not aware that you were seeking a claim through warranty. Instead, emailed with the restocking fee for change of mind. You see what he's saying there? He's basically saying we weren't sure what you were asking. My emails were very, very clear, very concise, very clear. So I don't know why he's claiming he didn't understand it. He says, we have taken this feedback on board and will use it to make our customer experience better in the future. Well, that's good for everybody else, not for me, but we were advised that you were experiencing crackles in the audio component of the audio, every few hours in your live streams. Well, it's every few minutes. DJI have acted upon this and replaced the components within a reasonable time frame. If the issues still persist after the repair, we will continue to discuss with the manufacturer, DJI, and provide you with resolutions under the ACCC. So that's nothing new. So he then says, to address your transmission range concerns, the official transmission range advertised on D1 store is up to 6 kilometers. That's FCC, so that's the US standard, and up to 4 kilometers on CE, SRRC, and MIC, which is Australian, Australian standards. And in open environments free of obstructions or interference, listed and noted under specification. So he's claiming that basically the reason your device didn't work is because you're in Australia where it only gets 4K range, not 6K, and you had obstructions. He further clarifies, hills, trees, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, and other radio transmission signals may obstruct and or interfere with the transmission signal. If there are obstructions and interference, it is normal for the product is perform less. It is normal for the product is perform less than the maximum output distance. That's badly worded. If there are obstructions, interference, it is normal for the product to perform less. That word is should be to. It is normal for the product to perform less than the maximum output distance. Okay, so he's claiming that I had the lousy one. I had the Australian version, and you had too much interference. Now, this next paragraph should concern anybody who has this product. This is a very, very big statement, and you should be very concerned about this. He says, furthermore, the product is designed and advertised to be a live monitoring / broadcasting. So those two things are the complete. That's two different things. Monitoring or broadcasting. Broadcasting is a lot different than monitoring. So it's meant to be used in live monitoring / broadcasting for when on production sets. And he links to the product in case we weren't sure what we'd bought. We were very well aware of what we bought. With the focus on video transmission. Now, whilst the transmission supports live audio monitoring at 16-bit 48 kilohertz, the main focus in on video, I guess that should be is. The main focus is on video transmission, where audio has their own dedicated transmission setup / needs. What are you saying, dude? From the YouTube videos provided, which is the links of my live stream, my use case, this is badly worded. From the YouTube videos you provided, your use case may not be the manufacturer's intended use case. We are happy to clear up any questions with the manufacturer at DJI as well. And again, if you experience issues with the product after the manufacturer has provided the remedy or repair, we will provide a resolution in line with the ACCC. So he's sticking to his guns saying that they're going to repair the audio component. But imagine that. Imagine you bought that product. Let me tell you this. On that link to the website which he's supplied, it doesn't mention anything about requiring a separate audio setup for transmission. It says this is an HDMI transmitter. Last I checked, HDMI includes audio and video, right? It's the joint, not codec, what's the word? Standard for transmitting video and audio, HDMI, right? No one ever uses HDMI and then goes, well, I better get my audio as well. It's both of them, right? So that's very weird, a very weird take, but it gets even weirder. It gets even weirder with these guys. I don't understand it. Like claiming that they didn't understand, and it just seems like the ball's been dropped. So yeah, just as a reminder, that email came in when I was just finishing up my video at 2:37 on the 14th. So then I emailed out on the 14th at 5:55 p.m. Hey there, Geordie, Anne, Marlene, Ralph, and Linnea. Please see my linked video on the subject. And there it is, the link. The video is currently unlisted, scheduled to go public on my channel, November 24, 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Unless DJI abide by Australian law and process the full refund, I've attached my sales invoice again. So I was basically saying, I'm fed up with listening to these inane emails. I'm not even going to respond to that one about the audio and the video being separate and needing another device. I'm just going to go ahead with the video I've made, let them know the video's there. You guys can go and check it, and we'll move on from there. And at that point, it's if there can be any confusion, there can't be, right? The video is super clear. The emails before the video are clear. The video should be ultra clear. So I'm not ready to faff around any longer with these guys. So we fast forward now to the 22nd of November at 12:25 p.m. This is a bizarre email. Hey there, Benon. This is from Geordie. Thanks for your patience in this matter. I have just had approval that we can refund this transaction. We've had approval that we can after all that, after everything, they just went, oh no, we can refund that. That makes me happy, but it doesn't really compute, right? Like, what the hell? I've just had approval that we can refund this transaction for you on this occasion. Please send through your bank details and I'll have our accounts team process the refund. Then he says, on a side note, we were unable to view the video linked below even when logged into those accounts. And those accounts he's referring to are the email accounts up here, which sometimes you need those to log into your Google AdSense account, your YouTube studio. In the YouTube backend, you can send unlisted or private videos to somebody with an email address, and that prompts them to go through and then go in and look at it. So he said we were unable to view the linked video even when logged into those accounts. If you have any further questions, please let me know. I was like, okay, interesting. I responded with, thank you, Geordie. Bank details are as follows. Not sure why the video is not viewable. I'll advise once the refund is clear. So I was concerned that the video hadn't been seen, but I was also more concerned about getting the money in the accounts. So he says, hey there, Ben, I've sent through the refund request. Please allow 3 to 5 business days for the transfer to happen and the funds to clear. The refund amount will be that amount. Please let me know. I respond with confirming, yes, I can confirm that is the actual amounts. And then I just wanted to know again, so I'm getting a little pushy here. I said, may I inquire, given D1 and DJI have not seen my video as yet, why the change in decision? I mean, at this point, that you do have to... I feel like I deserve some kind of response here because we've gone back and forward, and then I've gone ahead and made a video which nobody saw, yet they changed their mind anyway. It just... something's weird, right? So Geordie responds, hey there, Benon. I've just heard back from the accounts team that the refund has now been processed. It should clear in the next few days. So then he goes on to explain, here at D1, we are bound by the decisions made by DJI, the manufacturer. Now, just as a reminder to anybody that might be joining us at this late point, D1 is the Australian distributor of DJI, which are manufactured in Singapore, the products. So if you are a business entity operating in Australia, no matter what you're selling, you're still obliged to act under Australian law. So this is important. He says, here at D1, we are bound by the decisions made by DJI, the manufacturer. Well, no, you're not. You're bound by the law that you're operating under in the jurisdiction of Australia. Clear as anything. You cannot get around that. You are operating in Australia. You operate under Australian law. He says, as you are aware, they are not able to initiate the refund as the item was indeed purchased from us. So he's just gone, he's sent the ball back to them, and then he's gone, yeah, but they can't do anything. So they send it back to us. So the ball's gone back to Singapore, back to Australia. He says, however, we needed to gain approval that the refund and the return was approved by DJI. So he's gone, well, you bought it from us, but they made it. So we'll go back to them. They'll say, no, but you sold it. So go back to you. And then he'll go, but we got to refund it. Can we get the approval to the refund? DJI will go, well, we'll approve the refund. Go back to Australia. There's a lot of ball handling going on there. A lot of balls in the court. Yeah, so however, we needed to gain the approval for the refund, and the return was approved by DJI. So it was them, as this is our internal policy. So just a reminder again, and I won't bring it up because it's in the first video, but anytime you see a business say our policy, this is Australia only, right? I don't know about the rest of the world, but if you're in Australia, internal policy, in-store policies, they mean absolutely nothing. You have to abide by the law, and the law is stipulated on the ACCC website very clearly. And it says refunds must be given to the full purchase price back to the customer. A store cannot take a restocking fee or any commission or any time spent with the product fee. It has to be the full amount, and it has to be paid back the way it was purchased. So if it's credit card, PayPal, whatever it was, has to be responded, returned the exact same way. So it doesn't matter if they say, we've got our policy. Policies don't mean jack shit. He says, I do apologies for the delay. That's not the right word. I do apologies. I do weddings. I do apologies. I do get together. I do 21sts. I do apologies for the delay. It's obviously meant to be apologize. I do apologize for the delay, as it seems this request has gone through many different departments. And from your previous emails, it seems that some of the information was confused or misunderstood, with some departments thinking this was a recent purchase. Now, you might remember I included my invoice multiple times in that email chain, multiple times. So I was very, very clear. I was extremely clear about I'm looking for a full refund up front. I mentioned that from the get-go. I mentioned the product does not work. I mentioned all the links to the ACCC. I provided everything that they needed. I lined it out. Every email was outlined super eloquently, super clearly. For them to say we were confused, then you have to say, well, hold on a sec. Maybe your team there might not be operating as efficiently as they could be. Just saying, right? Like, it doesn't get any clearer than the way I outlined all this. So that's a bit of a confusion there from D1. He says, I also think from looking through your email chain that the issue was not clearly understood by our team, for which again, I do apologies for the delay this has caused. So now he's blaming the team, saying, well, even though I understood it, those guys back there, they didn't know what was going on. Those guys, they're just new here. I don't know what they were thinking. He's palming it off to them, which to them would be the repair team. Even though at the same time, someone was repairing those parts. Somebody replaced the audio components. So somebody got in and started working on it. You know what I'm saying? He says, our normal refund change of mind policy is indeed 30 days. Again, means absolutely nothing. During this period, we are unable to refund the item based on change of mind. Oh, sorry. Their policy says during this period, we are able to refund the item based on change of mind or issues with the product without approval from DJI. However, when this time is exceeded, as mentioned, we do need approval from DJI, which can take some time. So again, just the reason I'm doing this is so that anybody else that goes down this avenue, you should check the ACCC, and then all of this information is irrelevant, right? It doesn't matter what they say in the email. They have to act under the ACCC. The guidelines are very clear. So that was the email from Geordie. And so I got a little interested. I got a little curious. I said, hey, Geordie, thanks, Geordie. I will confirm once the refund is cleared at my end. I was kind of waiting for that to be cleared before I got too deep, but I sort of said, thank you for the information on how this has been handled at your end. Your explanation does explain many aspects of how things went. Basically, that was me being a bit cheeky, saying, yeah, you guys all messed up back there and you're blaming everybody else, but it was all of you, is what I'm seeing. And I was like, thanks for clearing that up. I already knew that as we were going along. Then I say, can you confirm that no one has seen my video and that the decision to refund was not made based upon the video being made? So there's two questions there. Can you actually confirm that nobody watched the video? And then it's the idea of the video. Like if a YouTuber says, hey, you guys are acting illegally, I'm going to make a video and expose it. Is that concept of that happening enough to make you do the right thing? And I don't know, maybe I'm being a bit cheeky by asking, but I wanted to know. To which Geordie responds, hey there, Benon, thanks for the email. I have not been able to access the video as we don't use these emails to log into Google, which YouTube requires. I'm not sure about DJI or other departments, however. So again, not just they're like lone wolves out there doing their own thing. They operate at the same place, but they don't know what goes on. I don't know what these dudes are doing over there. Are you guys even working back there? They're all doing their own thing. I had made the request and appeal. So this is the first time he said this. I had made the request and appeal before you sent that through. And as mentioned, the process does take some time. So he's saying that he had requested a full refund before I'd sent the video. Now, I just want to go back into, and this is why I did this. This is very clearly the dates here. So that's the first email. So this email on the 14th of November, these three emails, the last email I sent at 11:33 a.m., the one that I was just refreshed you guys with, 14th of November at 11:33 a.m. Then his email on the same day at 2:37 p.m. is basically telling me, this email, we've already read it, we don't need to read it again. This email is telling me you're not getting a refund. Yet he's now claiming that during this process, he was requesting the refund. So what is it? Are you requesting a refund? Am I getting a refund or am I not? Because these two things are contradictory. And again, the same day, which is when I indicated here's a video, the same day on the 14th of November at 5:55 p.m., there's the link to my video. So these three emails are very interesting in the terms of their dates, right? And that's why I thought that was interesting to bring up that down here at this last email. I had not been able to access the video. I had made the request and appeal before you sent that through. So he's lying, right? Basically lying. He's either lying to me in that email or he's lying about making a request for a refund. It doesn't matter because the refund came through, but I'm just saying, right? There's so much weirdness and so much shady correspondence going on here. And again, I've been super clear super like everything's dot pointed and all the T's are crossed and all the I's are dotted. Everything's clear at my end, but these guys have been waffling on like just complete faff, right? I had made the request and appeal before you sent that through, and as mentioned, this process does take some time. I hope this clarifies everything at your end. I do please reach out if you have any other questions. So then the last screenshot I've got is literally my studio here on YouTube, just to prove to you yahoos that this video was privatized from the get-go, uploaded on the 14th of November with 0 views. So nobody did see the video. It's very clear. And so that brings me to, why did this video go live? Why did I set this video to go live, even though I said if DJI acted accordingly and issued the refund, I wouldn't? The reason this video is live is because if you find yourself in the situation that I was in, you need to research the laws in your jurisdiction. And once you've found out what those laws are and how it fits into your situation, you should be extremely clear in your correspondence. You should keep screenshots of everything. You should date everything, and you should never back down. Because when a company acts like this, they're acting illegally, and it's in bad faith. And now DJI are a massive brand, right? They're huge. D1, okay, not so big, but the distributor of that product, they're all acting together to build their business, let's say. So if they're going to act shady like that, they need to be called out. And so even though my video wasn't the reason they complied and acted accordingly to the law, the video itself stands on its own because it illustrates how everything went down. And if that video wasn't live and only this one was, none of it would make sense. It needs to all be tied together into a cohesive package. And that's the fact that the DJI and D1 didn't even see the video. That gives me enough, that's a compelling enough reason to release the video, because if it was just me saying this is what happened, then you might be like, well, have you got proof of that? Have you got the receipts? Have you got the emails? So they're all in there so that there's no confusion about how this went down. Now, a little round of applause for D1 and DJI for actually coming forward and, acting legally. They did the right thing eventually. Sure, it might have taken them a little back and forward. And I'm sure that there was more conversation in their back end than what we're privy to with these emails from Geordie. I'm sure that there was a lot of discussions about this, but ultimately they must have gone, okay, we need to act according to the law here, guys. Someone probably came in and went, hang on, what's going on here? We got to do the right thing. We're a business. We got to act accordingly. So that's why I released this video, for the sake of anybody else that may be going down this avenue. Certainly if you're in Australia, the ACCC is your friend. You can comment to me if you want, and I can help you at any point along the path. Not that I'm an expert, but I've just had this happen and the result is favorable. And if you need any kind of guidance, I'll try to help out. Put them in the comments or whatever you need to do. If you're looking to do transmission from an HDMI source, from a camera to any other streaming encoder, I would not advise you use the DJI transmission. It's shit. Like, share, and subscribe, and I'll catch you on the flip side.